The NFL Top 100 finished today from the 2023 NFL season heading into the 2024 NFL season. Ended with the top 10. And now I'm going to give you my overall opinions on the rankings and just overall the list from the top 10 today. Here we go. Number 10, Max Crosby. I can see it. Had a heck of a year, one of those better years that he's had. Definitely is one of the stars for the Raiders. Since the offense isn't progressing as much, the defense and him steps in. And, it's a mid-team, but they're getting better, and he's getting better. Especially, look, 17-10, made the top 10. Number 9, Travis Kelce saves the Kansas City receiving stats and yards every year. Man, even though he's the main target, but he's a pretty good one of the best tight ends in the league, and won a Super Bowl and helped them win that. Definitely deserves number 9. Maybe it could have been a little higher. I don't know, about maybe like 10. I think Crosby may have had the better year. Chiefs overall regular season wasn't as good as we've seen, but they did win the Super Bowl, so yeah. All right, TJ Watt, number 8. Now, people are saying maybe he should be higher than Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year? So, therefore, if you're talking about last year, I think TJ Watt definitely should have been lower. But that's besides the point. They were both really good, neck and neck, in sacks, pressures, and all of that. And saves, the defense, about almost every year. Of course, Browns are basically already have really good defense, corners, everything. Steelers, on the other hand, have a good front. And they got some good backs. But I think TJ Watt's basically the face of the Steelers right now. Trent Williams, one of the best linemen. Probably better than my Zach Martin here on the Cowboys. Obviously, he is. He went up from 14 to 7. And, he saves Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy got injured. Keeps Brock Purdy in the game. One of the best blockers out there. And, he definitely keeps getting, he's getting older and older. Keeps on getting better and better. Here we have Chris Jones, number 6. He wasn't really in the... he's a really good defensive player. Helps that Chiefs defense out, even though they were young. But I don't ever see him really understand why he got number 6. Really good player. Probably should be top 10, maybe outside top 10, but not really number 6. I get that he won the Super Bowl, all that. He played well in the postseason. I get that. Just not that high. I didn't even see him on the sack leader, neither did Myles Garrett. I don't think he produced as much as those did. Even though he probably did, I don't think he should be number 6. Maybe 10, maybe a little 9, maybe higher. Not 6. Myles Garrett, number 5. And I get it. He's one of the best players. He is definitely coming from an Arkansas fan. He was a beast at A&M. He deserved to be that number 1 pick by Cleveland. And honestly, being Defensive Player of the Year, I would think he would be in the top 10, of course. But honestly, he wasn't the biggest guy in the sacks range. But he got a lot of the pressures, did get a lot of sacks. Was the face of that defense. Terrorized when you're playing a QB and Myles Garrett coming at you, man. One of the biggest guys out there, one of the strongest linemen. And it helps win Defensive Player of the Year that way. Number 5 he goes. All right, Patrick Mahomes, obviously he's won 3 Super Bowls. You got to rank him in the top 5, of course. I know Super Bowls are a team stat, but the way he plays, his regular season probably wasn't as good. The way he came from a 3 seed and went to the Super Bowl, and obviously we know what he's done, that makes sense. Patrick Mahomes could easily be the GOAT at some point. I'm a big Tom Brady fan, but if Patrick Mahomes surpasses him, hats off to him. I'm not a hater at all. I support what he does. He gets hated way too much. He gets, said he got, cheated or got helped by the refs. That stuff is just wrong. Great players, won 3 Super Bowls, at least been part of it, and led the team to that. The Chiefs dynasty is going to be on for a while and could be a three-peat this year. His magical magician ways. Got to rank him top 5, and number 4 just sits well. Number 3. Christian McCaffrey, look at this, 35-3, 35, and then went up to 3 in 2024. Huge difference. And, of course, he's leading running backs about everything, and he's the face of the running backs. You don't see running backs getting this high right now. We had a lot of defensive ends or quarterbacks or something like that. We don't see many running backs. Christian McCaffrey is the face of the league for running backs. Maybe Henry's up there, and all that Mixon, all that. I mean, but I mean, he leads about everything, and one of the best stat kings for running. And obviously, did you know that last year he was basically at one point having a touchdown about every game? And I mean, I think multiple too. I mean, he's unstoppable. I don't think I remember really him having a bad game. So, number 3, it just sits well for him. All right, 72-2. That's a huge jump. What the heck? Now, of course, he did kind of get hurt, but this is a huge jump. 72-2. Honestly, big Lamar Jackson. He has speed. I don't think he has the best arm. He doesn't. But the speed and the athleticism, honestly, I think he doesn't get hated enough. Honestly, he's a great quarterback. He doesn't really get hated enough for that playoff record. And Dak sitting here getting playoff and getting judged about, maybe he should get traded or something. Like, look at this guy's. But honestly, he's still so athletic, and the way he spins out of the pocket and connects and stuff. I mean, it's amazing from him. I mean, but I don't think they were MVP stats last year. I don't think they were. I think McCaffrey or Dak should have won it. 29 TDs and this other stats just weren't it. But he did blow out some really good teams, so I could definitely see that. So, I think he should have been higher. Lower, not higher. Lower, because Howard been number 1. Lower, though, just a little bit. But two's fine. I just think lower should have been. But still a great player. Great athlete. One of the best athletes out there. One of the fastest. And that was good for him. Honestly, I think this was Tyreek's best year. I guess he's probably had better, maybe better career years, but to have one of the most TDs, to have the most receiving yards, and to probably have one of the best outstanding performances, maybe have a chance of Offensive Player of the Year, he's number 1. I have him almost perfect and everything. Besides McCaffrey, I think maybe McCaffrey should probably been number 2. Maybe Lamar been number 3, but Lamar was MVP and still did have a great year. Obviously that. But Tyreek had one of the best outstanding years. Honestly, he could have easily had a chance at MVP. But he didn't. So, if you're doing everything like that for a receiver, and also being one of the fastest too, and being that small, he was great on the Chiefs, but a Dolphins team that's not good as Kansas City, and them able to do well there, that shows when he carries from another team, when he carries one team, he can go to another team and do that same thing. He ain't one of those players that, I just wasn't good because I wasn't good. I know Chiefs weren't good, but I know Chiefs were obviously good. Everyone, he won a Super Bowl with them. And then look, they don't. But he still helps the team out a lot. He didn't just lose all his magic. Kansas City. It proves that he is one of the best players in the league right now because it wasn't like, he's carried by Patrick Mahomes. No. So, number 1 deserves one of the best years. Congrats to Tyreek Hill. And hope you liked all my opinions on these. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video, Dog Squad. Peace.